not to make this complicated. Now that I have your undivided attention, let me give you some advice.
I had the chance to attend a Square Enix preview event for Trials of Mana, and had the chance to go hands-on with a portion of the game. I played for around an hour and a half, and so got a good feel for the game and what it's like. I was already really looking forward to Trials of Mana, and now even more so. It exceeded my expectations in a lot of ways, which I'll go through in this video. I started my playthrough with Hawkeye. I'd played the original version of Trials of Mana, but I hadn't played as Hawkeye, so I was keen to try a new character. As the game started, I was really impressed with the graphics. I'd of course seen trailers, but seeing it in front of me, I thought the game looked great. I was playing the Switch version on the TV. The story started out with Hawkeye being forced to flee his town after being blamed for the death of the prince and his best friend. His story begins in a desert setting, before moving to a forest, mountaintop castle, underground cave, with some stops at a couple of towns along the way. Just from this early section of the game, there was a lot of variety in the environments. After playing the preview, I loaded up the re-released version of Trials of Mana on the Switch, to see how the story compares, and as you can see from the screens, it has all the same story beats and a lot of the same dialogue.
Eliminate Hawkeye. Must. No! This isn't you, Eagle! Fight it!
Oh dear. He can't hear you now. What will you do? Attack your friend or perish on his blade?
What's the problem? No! Not Eagle. How could you? Don't move!
Of course, I haven't seen the whole of this remake, but fans of the original may be happy to know that this remake is faithful to the original. The updated visuals and voice actings, however, do add a lot more emotion and depth, and I found I was super invested in Hawkeye's story. From what I've seen so far, they've done a great job with the voice acting and the directing of cutscenes, so that they really convey the emotion of the story. You can choose to play as one of 6 characters, and after you choose your main character, you then choose 2 secondary characters for your party. You meet them as you play the game, and when you do, you have the option of watching or playing their backstories. This was very cool. I chose Reese and Charlotte. Reese's story was also really compelling. It featured the same antagonist as Hawkeye, which was why I picked her, and so my understanding is that there are extra scenes and interactions when you choose a main character and support character with a common villain. There are 3 main antagonists, by the way, so picking different main characters will lead you to different villains.
My grandpa asked Heath to go to Astoria to look into something for the temple. But I got a really bad feeling about it.
Charlotte's voice is definitely going to annoy me over time, but Hawkeye and Reese both had stories that I want to continue when I play the main game. The stories feel personal in their individual motivations for their journeys, but also grand and epic due to the challenges they'll be facing along the way.
I will not allow monsters to upset the peace of Laurent. I did it!
I think it's really great that you can play through the other characters' backstories, rather than them just being random additions to the party. You care more about their journey because you've played through their story rather than watched a cutscene. The controls were super easy to get to grips with. You've got the usual jump, dodge, light attack and heavy attack, and you've also got special moves that you can execute. It's hard to gauge how difficult the final game will be, but through the section I played I found that dodging was essential to avoid taking damage, but the enemies didn't hit too hard in these early stages of the game, so I was never in any risk of dying.
too bad, if I do say so myself.
Your team levels up as they kill enemies, and you can unlock new abilities and stat upgrades with skill points. There are also options for character classes. I didn't get to explore them in the demo, but you can choose light and dark paths for each character that could change their skills and attributes. I'll have to test that out when I play the full game.
You wish you never got that with us.
You have an on-screen map, and at any time it tells you where you need to go. I know this is a small thing, but I really appreciated this. It made it very clear how I can progress the game, but I still had the freedom to explore the area and find enemies and treasure. It's so easy to get lost when playing games with big maps or branching paths, so I think for people that are mostly interested in playing for the story, you'll be able to follow the yellow star and get to the next story scene quite quickly. But for those that like to take their time, there's nothing preventing you from doing that, and exploration is rewarded with items. The graphics looked great. The characters, enemies and environments were detailed and colourful. There was a lot of cleavage shots with the women in the game, which I felt was a bit out of place, especially during the more serious story scenes. By the time you watch this video, the demo for the game will probably be up on the eShop and PSN. I recommend you check that out, and your progress from the demo carries over to the main game. I really appreciate when demos do that, so it doesn't feel like a waste of time to play the demo and then the main game. Before I played the demo, one thing that made me apprehensive of this remake was the Secret of Mana remake that came out in 2018. I was not a fan of that game. It was essentially the same game as the original, but with better graphics. It kept all the old and outdated gameplay systems, and so I just found it clunky and didn't enjoy it. Trials of Mana is a proper remake, which stays loyal to the original in terms of story and characters, but completely overhauls the graphics and gameplay, making it feel like a modern game. I was looking forward to Trials of Mana before, but after playing this demo I'm far more excited. I'm really looking forward to playing the full game, and if you're a fan of the original game, or of action RPGs, then you should definitely keep this on your radar. So guys, are you planning to pick up Trials of Mana? Leave a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.
Why are you heading to Wendell?
There's a small matter of a cursed choker that I need to figure out how to remove.
Oh, I see you haven't had an easy time yourself.
I see you're a girl who knows what you want. If only you were 10 years older. I wouldn't mind being one of your recruits. Gotta get this nuisance out of the way before we can go. We're getting too good for these guys. Time to work together, everyone!
Stay true!
Of course! Take care of that.
Hostile entity! Be careful!
Victory is easy with reliable companions.
I'll take point and leave the rear to you.
Stay true! Okay! Stay true!
I'm a force to be reckoned with.